he finds they beam down and they find the city. Like it's like amazing city.
Yeah,
like,
it's a dope city.
But there's no one around, and all they hear are like the buzzing of insects.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Even though they can't detect any life.
Yeah,
form.
exactly. Like there's no like life forms at all. It's like it's kind of like New York City in Vanilla Sky.
Yeah, exactly. During Tom Cruise's opening dream.
So once they get there, one of the
dopest dudes.
No, not one of the dopest.
One of the red shirts.
Yeah, he just vanishes. Like what?
He like blips out of existence. It turns into like a little black line, doesn't he?
It's like a black line, and like
a hologram flash, or it actually retracts in on itself.
A little bit. It's a weird effect.
It's like a Microsoft Paint effect.
So.
Like if they did post-production in Mario Paint, that's what it would look like. They decide
they can't find him, so they leave. So it's pretty much what happens.
They're like, fuck it, he's expendable.
So they get back to the Enterprise, and the ship starts fucking up. Like all like the systems are going crazy.
Right.
And then this strange
fart machine appears.
Appears in the engineering room or deck, I should say. And it attaches itself to the life support system, and then they start to hear that insect buzzing again.
Right.
And so Kirk's like, red alert! We're on the yellow scale, like whatever. Red
alert.
Red alert. What was the 9/11 scale?
There's like yellow, amber. No, amber alerts. Different thing. That's missing kid.
But it's like threat level.
Threat level
red.
Yeah.
Threat level red. This he's just like hanging out, like having a Topo Chico, and he notices that everything starts to like move slower, starts to move slowly.
That's right. Yeah, it's like the acid has just kicked in.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. This whole episode has a real drug vibe to it.
So then he sees this beautiful woman
who's only wearing like half a costume.
Yeah,
she's got one leg and one arm bare. And Becca said while looking at this woman's costume, how does her pussy not fall out? Because apparently she's like, I would think that if it's literally just crotch, like it might get caught on. To be fair, she might have been a little under the influence when she said this. She's like, I think it'd get caught on one of her pussy lips. Like anytime she took it too far of a stride, like the fabric would ride up.
True. Yeah.
I don't have a pussy.
Yeah, I don't know. Ladies. Yeah.
Ladies, feel free to write in and let us know how your pussy would react to such a costume. Or not. You can keep that to yourself. I don't want to turn the show into a salacious, grody fest, but there's nothing grody about ladies' bodies. And costume practicality. How does it work? How do we make it work?
So she's like, hey, they're not slowed down. You're sped up.
You're
it's like it is like a crazy acid trip. It's like they're not moving slower, man.
You're moving fast. Come with me. She's like his spirit guide.
Yeah, exactly.
Find your soulmate, Homer.
She's his space coyote. And so,
it doesn't help that most of the episode is shot at Dutch angles.
Yeah, and so from everyone else, thinks Kirk has disappeared, like that red shirt did. Mm-hmm. But since obviously, we realize, Kirk or Compton, the guy's name's Compton,
right?
Since he didn't, he's not dead. The viewers realize this, he's still alive. Oh, he's on the Enterprise too. He's been there the whole time,
mm-hmm.
Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
And they're high-fiving each other super fast. I don't
Turbo high five.
I don't really remember the second half of this episode.
Well, it turned out whenever he finds Homeboy, the dude who disappeared, Chris Compton.
Yeah, Chris Compton. Shout
out. He's like, I met a girl. She's not like anybody else. It turned out that the ensign had let the bad guys onto the ship and given them the codes and everything that they needed to set up their fart machine, which was now, I guess, providing them life support.
Yeah. And
so Kirk fights him, I think, and then he gets cut and he dies. He ages really rapidly and just dies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Kirk spends a lot of time going back and forth with the alien lady because she wants him to impregnate her. That's
because all their men are sterile.
Yeah, because they went through their nuclear thing. So the only way they can continue the race is for the women to breed with mortal men who live at normal speed.
Mhm.
And there's a dude, this week's version of Larry from, what was last week with Larry, the guy who was in love with the blind lady? What episode? When Spock wears the IMAX glasses?
Oh,
what episode was that?
That was, Is There in Truth No Beauty?
Yes. Okay, it's kind of like that. This episode's Larry.
Okay.
The dude with the shiniest collar. He wants to kill Kirk because he wants her for himself, and she's like, oh, he's only temporary. And she's trying to get Kirk to bone down. Kirk doesn't want to do it. I don't remember how they resolved it, though. I know that... I don't know. I know Kirk records a message for the crew explaining what's happened, and he puts the key in... he puts the data tape into Bones' machine while Bones is looking for a cure to speedism. And while Spock is up on the bridge figuring out that the buzzing is actually words at a high speed, right after Spock figures that out on the bridge, McCoy calls and says, hey, I got a whole tape full of this shit. And Spock's like, well, shit, bring it up. And so they play it, and somehow there's video attached to it. I believe, and Kirk's explaining like I'm in the fast lane now, Jack.
Living in the fast lane,
right.
And Spock ends up living in the fast lane as well.
That's right. He's like, I too will join the fast lane.
Like it's only logical.
That I join my boy in the fast lane.
But he repairs the ship,
That's right. He goes around and fixes the ship. I don't know I can't remember how they resolved the alien's dilemma. What does Wikipedia say?
Let's see here. He tricks the foxy lady into thinking he is a jest to their cause until he surprises her and takes her weapon. That's
right, the disruptor.
And then they rush to the engineering room to destroy the fart machine that has been wired to the ship.
Right.
And then they escort the prisoners to the transporter room and return them to the planet empty-handed.
So basically, they're going to die there.
Pretty much. Because
they didn't want the help. Because he's like, we could find you another world, another way to do this.
That which survives, not them.
Not them. Mm-mm.
Not them.
So
which leads us to That Which Survives, which is another episode about a foxy lady just kind of fucking shit up.
Yeah, this one I watched this morning, and I remember it less well than episodes I watched a week ago. I sat there and watched it this morning while drinking a Cherry Coke Zero, and I remember the taste of the Cherry Coke better than I remember
Still remember the cherries. But yeah, these last two episodes and the Empath, they're just boring. They're like, okay, well, this episode they come to a planet, and they Spock's like it has all this vegetation stuff and the atmosphere, and Spock's like it shouldn't be this way because the planet's too young. It shouldn't have progressed this quickly.
This should still be Volcanosville, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this, Genesis planet?
This woman shows up and she kills.
This episode's Darnell.
Yeah, I guess.
She kills the geologist, right?
Yeah, she kills a blue shirt, which is she shows up and she's like, "Are you afraid?" And he's like, "I'm a geologist, baby. I'm not afraid."
Nothing scares me.
Yeah. And she's like, "Whatever," kills him.
Right, you are for me.
Which when I first started watching the episode, I'm like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Like, oh, he's just there to die.
Right. Well, he's one of the specialists who lives on the ship, kind of like the history major who fell in love with Khan.
Yeah, who only show up for one episode.
Exactly. So he's been
we
sitting in his
rocks.
room.
Yes!
We found a planet with rocks. Every planet they go to is nothing but rocks stacked as high as the eye can see. He should have been with them. He should be the fourth member. Yeah. He's like the Ringo of the band.
Exactly. So she kills him, and the Enterprise is stranded. Oh, God, I don't remember.
Again.
Look, I don't know. This episode sucked.
All right, let's see. Let's see what we can figure out here. Okay, let's see. Somehow they lose communication with the Enterprise, and they're stranded. They think the Enterprise has been destroyed, but it's actually thrown almost 1,000 light years away.
Okay.
From the planet. And they examine Wyatt, who died earlier in the episode, and figure out his death was caused by complete cellular disruption.
Whatever that means.
So when the lady touches him, I guess it explodes his cells. It's like popping, I guess if you blow a balloon up too big, You know, it just bursts. I guess that's what cellular disruption is.
She also kills a red shirt,
right?
A guy who, again, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Why isn't this Scotty talking? But again, he's just there to die.
Yeah. Well, Scotty's telling him. Scotty's telling him what to do. He's like, hey, do this, do that. Right?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like,
where has this guy been?
Like, who is this guy? Yeah. So after that guy dies, Spock's like, we gotta go back to that planet.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty's like, you know, there's something's in my belly, my bones ache.
Mm-hmm. I got a bad feeling about this.
And then
vague feeling that it's not right. And Spock's like, I don't want to hear from your goddamn feelings.
All right, that shit ain't logical. So this woman killed another guy and then sends the ship into warp drive.
Right.
And the ship starts to...
She sabotages the emergency overload bypass.
Yeah, and it starts to speed up uncontrollably. And Scotty's like, he figures it out. He's like, oh shit, like this is bad. The ship can't take it anymore. It's gonna blow
apart,
up. Yeah. So they make up a plan to try to get it to slow down, and
right.
Scotty starts to do that, and I guess
starts his plan. Yeah, and he's crawling up the tube, right? He's working on the tube, trying to. That was a nice bit. They've got that one tube they always go into to fix everything on the ship. There's that one set they built with like a McDonald's play tube in it.
Yeah, exactly. Also, she tried to kill Sulu, but I guess he didn't.
She only touched his shoulder, and he's like, "Fuck, that hurt!" and starts like running from her. Like, also, this episode's of note because I think it's the first time since season 1 that Sulu's been down on a planet, that he hasn't just been sitting at his desk.
Yeah, at his desk and his chair.
He's been jockeying a desk.
So the woman shows up. They're on the planet. The woman shows up to get Kirk, but Sulu and Bones block her path,
and she can't figure out a way around them.
Yeah, and she touches them, but nothing happens. And I guess she can only kill the person that she
is designated.
Yeah, is like, she's like, okay, I'm going to kill Kirk, and like she can't hurt
she's programmed
else.
for Kirk now.
And so she's like, my name is Lasira. I'm station commander. I'm alone.
Right.
I'm protecting this planet.
Yep.
And then she vanishes. So they jettison some fuel
on the
Enterprise. And I guess I'm assuming they save it. They save the ship.
Yeah, Scotty just barely gets his wrench in within 10 seconds. He wants Spock to flip the switch, and Spock's like, finish your job. And he's like, you don't have time, flip the switch. And Spock's like, no, finish the job. And Scotty just barely finishes it. They flip the switch. Everything's fine somehow.
So they go inside this... They find a space station on the planet. They find this computer. Of course, the computer is responsible for fucking everything.
Right.
And they show up. It's Spock, Sulu, and Kirk. And the computer's like, boom, and it's like 3 of the women now, and they're each programmed to kill like one of those people.
They're like, we can't protect each other anymore.
And so they're like, fuck it. They just blow up the computer. And so they get a video of the woman. She's like, I'm the last survivor. I programmed the computer to defend the outpost, and I used my likeness as the assassins. Right. That when they created the planet, like I said, Spock was like, this planet shouldn't have this kind of vegetation, this kind of atmosphere. It's too young for that.
Right.
They created a deadly organism, and that and Bones is like, they probably just that organism's what killed that race of people and left this planet desolate.
Right.
And so. Whatever. Again,
this was originally the outline was written by D.C. Fontana under a pseudonym. D.C. Fontana didn't write a lot of the better episodes.
Well, she wrote a lot of first season.
Did she?
Yeah.
I remembered her name being attached to some of the ones I didn't like as much. I don't know.
They can't all be gold.
It's true. When you're working, even the first 2 seasons of Community had some duds in them.
Yeah, but
not all that glitters is gold.
Like 3 of these episodes were really boring, and obviously we couldn't really remember the details
right.
less than 24 hours after we'd seen them. The Empath was pretty boring.
Yeah.
But
it felt like a really abstract, like 1960s stage play in like the
yeah,
village.
it did, right?
Yeah, like something you would go see, you know, when